Well, welcome everyone to another God experience. This week is the City of Light. So, how was your week with invisibility? Hmm? I would say for me, I didn't have any synchronicities that really was like, yes, this is invisibility. You've grounded it, but the whole week felt a bit invisible. I can't explain that, but it was just such a strange week, as if it didn't really exist because nothing was going on. Um, I felt invisible. I felt invisible to myself. So it was just a really odd week. So I'm going to say invisibility has already been grounded. um, yeah. And as so far, I think I've told you before that I'm kind of making a little story with all the city words. And so far, we have the invincibility of timelessness is invisible when in the light. So that's our first sentence of the city storyline. Okay, so let's talk about this is Gene Key 11, and it's the shadow of obscurity, and it moves through idealism and into light. It's not one of my favorite gene keys because there's a lot going on, and the associated Hebrew letters are a little bit there's a lot going on, and it's hard to pick like one thing to talk about. But in general, the obscurity that Richard refers to is what does he put it? The fascist regime of the human ego. So really, at the shadow level, Gene Key 11, is speaking about the human ego and its ability to obscure our vision or our perception based on the fact that the lower mind separates things into good and evil, black and white, right and wrong, but also uh, how the I Ching talks about it in hexagram 11, that the human ego makes us believe that we are the center of the universe. Each one of us is the center of the universe, and that we are special creatures because we have the ability of expression. And that expression comes through our mouth, our ability to communicate through words and language. And that's the associated letter, Hebrew letter that's associated with the makeup of the word light, which we'll get into in just a second. So it's really about the human ego and how it separates us and it obscures our vision, and of course, really tamps down our dreams. And of course, the human ego is full of desires, and that's what obscures us. What do we really want? What do we really need? And what does the universe want from us? And so we get to the city of light. And once again, it's the way Richard has written about it is quite intense and oftentimes technical, and it's not one of my favorites. But the light that he is referring to is not a light at all. It is a light, but it's a clear light. It's an invisible, it is the light. It's so bright, it's clear, it's invisible. Why? Because it has projected all of its color, all of its darkness into the manifest world for creation to happen. And therefore, not only is it light as far as color is concerned, but it's also light in weight, meaning that it's not a color at all. It's actually this light, this illuminated frequency is the background of everything. The background. There are many cities that talk about that are associated with the background of everything. In fact, all of them are the background of everything. But um, so we're not talking about a light of any color, but it's an invisible background frequency that is light, but has projected all of its color into the manifest world. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's let's look at the word. It's a little, let me see here. What am I trying to do? Let's share screen. That'll work. Let's share this. Okay, so here you are. Here's the word light, and I've got to get a drink of water. So the foundation of the word light is Hebrew numbers 17, or Pei 17. And in Hebrew, it's represented, it's called the mouth, or it's about our expression into society. And indeed, light, how we are meant to shine our light into the world is, let's see, does really have to do with the mouth. But the mouth, because we are human beings and we have an expression through the mouth in Hebrew represents the human ego. And the 17 is called slavery to dominion. Are we a slave to the human personal and collective ego, therefore only expressing our desires from, I want this, I want that to be seen, etc., etc., or the opposite? The 17 is at the highest level, is when man is functioning from his higher mind, his higher expression. I'll show you that in just a second. And he's able to create from a clear mind, and that his speech is principled based on higher ideals and idealism, and that's what he creates in the world, is an idyllic version of his lower desires, or something like that. Anyway, I know I'm not making much sense. This is a very difficult one for me to talk about because it is a little technical. Anyway, I wanted to show you on the tree of life here. The 17, the foundation of light, sits right here in between the astral body and the Buddhic body, or the divine soul. It's right here. And so the city of light is the background, one of the background letters. It forms the structure of the universe. So it's a background light, as I said. And it's in between the astral body and the Buddhic body, which means at the lower levels, the human ego, which is separating things, right, wrong, all of our darkness, all of our desires, our astral body desires, we're creating through the mouth, through our words, talking. Or at the highest level, we're creating from the higher mental plane, the Buddhic body and the Atmic body, or the Christ body. So at the highest level, the 17 says, yes, we have to go beyond our human desires. We have to, once again, like all the cities, awaken to the background consciousness. And that is the emptiness, the spaciousness, the light that is light without manifestation. So that space, which is beyond manifestation, which is beyond light. And once you do that, the abilities of light is the 19, and the light 19 is represented by Lucifer, but it's meaning that the 19 holds the highest of light. It is the light bearer, but also the darkest of the dark. So once we have awakened to this higher mental plane, the clear light, the illuminated light, then we have the ability to hold and integrate within us the lightest of the light and the darkest of the dark. And that is the beauty of the light. And the success of that is 3333, master communication, master teacher, spiritual teacher. I mean, that is absolutely how Richard talks about that people who embody this city usually turn out to be our most recognized spiritual teachers. Okay, so that's the city of light. I hope I made a little sense. It's a little difficult one for me to talk about. And yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole meditation, but let's just for a moment, take a moment and just close your eyes. And let's just do a short activation, a short clearing. Okay. And let's just, first of all, I call forth a monadic sweep and axonal alignment. Yep. And I ask my monadic self to please activate and awaken the city of light in this physical body. So that I and everyone out there who's watching and participating, we ask that we are able to be vessels, grounding vessels for this city of light. Please show us the light in the darkest of our darkest spaces within. And so it is. Have a wonderful light-filled week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.